Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd, and man, I'll tell you what, I am praying, I am hoping this is the last Bioware Dragon Age the Veilguard video I ever have to bring to you, because this game has been an absolute disastrous dumpster fire. It was one bad decision through development after one another bad decisions on release, bad marketing, bad creative choices, bad gameplay, just bad dialogue, all the way around a bad and abysmal game. It is probably the worst disaster that Bioware or whoever else was controlling the Dragon Age franchise in the past has ever seen in the entire series. Because not only did it come in at least 50% under expectations for Bioware, now they are completely and totally shuttering the game, and all the employees are going bye-bye as well, boys and girls, because this is exactly what happens when you decide to walk down the diversity, inclusion, and equity path, dance with the devil, and now you're getting burned. And now they are officially shutting down Dragon Age the Veilguard, and it is a beautiful and glorious thing, boys and girls. So like I said, I hope this is the last Dragon Age the Veilguard video I ever have to make, but hey, this is just what happens when we keep getting wonderful announcements of us winning, because this is the consequences of your actions. When you decide to go down this path and make sure that everything's got to be, oh, this toxic this toxic positivity among these companies. Oh, nobody's wrong. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's a great idea. Let's everybody be nice to each other. You can't be critical of anybody. You can't say, hey, you know what? That's kind of a dumb idea. That art kind of looks like trash. Those characters are kind of stupid. Those options are kind of ridiculous. This gameplay is not all of that really up to snuff or all that great and wonderful. Yeah, when you live in an industry like that, where the only thing that matters is you meet these immutable characteristics via the check boxes of, making sure you got enough people of mixed race in there, you got enough people of women in there, you got enough people of color in there, all this other stuff. All that does is limit any kind of actual creativity. And not only is immersion breaking when you introduce modern dialogue into a game that's literally supposed to be a medieval fantasy, and the barf thing, I mean, really? This game was guaranteed to be a disastrous dumpster fire, and it looks like Bioware has finally made the smart decision, shut it down, and moved on completely. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about right here, boys and girls, because we've got this wonderful article over here at fandompulse.substack from our dear sweet John F. Trent that's going to give us all of the juicy details of exactly what's going on over here. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, we are inching our way closer and closer to 900, and I could not do that without every single one of you. So without hitting that subscribe button. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you think about this. Do you believe this is going to be the complete and total end to Dragon Age franchise as we know it? Has Dragon Age the Veilguard completely and totally killed this, which is why they have no new games in development for this, and they are completely and totally moving on to other things? Or do you think this actually could end up being the best thing for this franchise that ended up getting shelved for a while? Or did you love the Dragon Age Veilguard game and all of its diversity? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. So from Fandom Pulse and our dear sweet John F. Trent, Bioware shuts down support for Dragon Age the Veilguard after EA revealed the game missed sales expectations by 50%. Oh yeah, you remember all those times we called this game a flop and everyone was out there like, no it wasn't, the company said it succeeded. No, it didn't. Selling 1 million copies does not exceed. Having like half the player base from the last time out there does not exceed. Half the player you expected out there is not a success. Does not equal out success in any way, shape, or form. Because guess what? 2 plus 2 still equals 4. And the latest patch notes for Dragon Age the Veilguard, Bioware revealed it would not be providing any more minor bug fixes or quality of life improvements, and would only monitor the game for game-breaking bugs. This announcement comes amid BioWare's parent company, EA, revealing the game missed sales expectations by 50%. So basically, all they've got left at this point is there's going to be somebody who now has the duty of monitoring the emails about the player complaints for a game that honestly nobody's playing anymore. So, you know what? I think they'll be fine. So yes, essentially everybody involved with this game has been fired or moved on to another project. In Patch 5 release notes, BioWare informed the players, "Thank you all for playing Dragon Age the Veilguard." They're literally saying bye. "We were so happy with the game's stability at launch," not success, but stability at launch, "and hope you've enjoyed our quality and life patches since then. With the game being in a stable place and no one playing it anymore, we are moving to monitor for any game breaking should those be occur. There is Thrall! Yeah, so needless to say, they're completely done with anything Dragon Age the Veilguard. And why wouldn't they be? I mean, The game's been an absolute flop. What do we got? Players right now on this one? I don't know how recent this is, but 2,761. Yeah, I wonder why they're not going to be worried about monitoring it for any player improvements, because guess what? It's not like you're going to bring any new players at this point. This announcement came shortly after EA announced in a press release that Dragon Age engaged approximately 1.5 million players during the quarter, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. The game notably only hit a peak concurrent player count of just 89,418 in its first Sunday after release in the beginning of November, and needless to say, it's continuously gone down over and over again. Furtherguard, the Veilguard executive producer Mark Dern also indicated that EA was relocating Bioware's staff to other studios aside from the upcoming Mass Effect game. And remember, this game's lead designer, the person that was in charge of this, is a man who feels pretty, boys and girls, and wanted to work out all of his own mental delusions and have you accept him as who he thinks he is with the Dragon Age Veilguard. Don't believe me? Go look at a picture of him. Although it looks like he's had some of that facial reconstruction surgery, but go back for like a year and look at where he's just got the wig on. Yeah, trust me, you'll get exactly what ended up happening here, right here. So Dareth shared in the recent upload to YouTube, Mass Effect isn't ready to suddenly have a team of 250 to 300 people working on it. Well, why not? I guess that one's not in development, so of course they're all going to be moved on to somewhere else. In the past, when BioWare was toying with being just one project, like onto Anthem, onto Veilguard, the project was up and running and full speed, so it was able to suck in every available resource. It had enough existing infrastructure that was able to absorb everything. I mean, 250 to 300 people working on one video game? Boy, I wonder why these things all turn into $500 million disasters, because you easily spend $500 million on these games. 250 to 300 people, but just based on salaries alone over a 5-year development time, those numbers are absolutely insane. And I don't know how some of my friends out there that have been in the video industry, have you ever been part of a team on a video game where we're working with 250 to 300 people for years at a time? That's insane. So they're not exact. So that's not exactly what's happening. You see, this is when you go onto people's social media profiles. People who worked at Dragon Age the Veilguard, some of them are moving on to Mass Effect, but some of them are moving into other parts of the EA organization because Mass Effect isn't ready for them. And also, a lot of them got fired as well, including, of course, the actual head of this Dragon Age Veilguard game. So it was reported back in November that Veilguard did not receive any DLC expansions. With Dragon Age the Failguard now complete, BioWare confirms that there are currently no plans for downloadable expansions. The developers' full attention is now shifted entirely into the next Mass Effect as their current project. And boy, after the nonsense that happened with Andromeda, I mean, does anybody have any hope for a BioWare Activision Mass Effect game at this current time? I mean, look what they did to the Dragon Age franchise. Arguably much larger than the Mass Effect franchise and much larger fan base out there. And look what they did it. They used it as nothing more than a vehicle for one insane little psychopathic nutjob man out there to work for all of his own personal issues because he wants all the rest of the world to be convinced that he's a pretty woman. Well, guess what? Just like nobody was convinced by all of the marketing that Dragon Age Veilguard was going to be great, and it was going to be wonderful, it was going to be fabulous, no matter how many of those shill Access Media gaming journalists out there went, oh, this is wonderful, this is fabulous, this is great, we love it, yada, yada, yada. And there's actually a few of them out there that after a couple of months of this thing being actually changed their tune, which is really funny at the exact same time. Even they had to recognize this thing was hot garbage. But it's literally one of those things where all the press releases, all was going to be fabulous, it was going to be wonderful, and every single one of us that had half a brain in our head took one look at this trailer, took one look at the people involved in this and went, yeah, this thing's going to be a disastrous dumpster fire, it's going to flop. And guess what? History has proven itself true once again. It doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. And Dragon Age the Veilguard, just like Star Wars Outlaws and so many other games in 2024, turned out to be an disastrous woke flop. And guess what, BioWare? You got exactly what you deserved. Dragon Age the Veilguard, boys and girls, is officially shut down.